Welcome to Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. I'm Maddie Paul, and behind me is the scene of Great Bear. And we have a lot of stories to share with you today, so let's get started with our very first one. The Sioux Falls Zoo and Aquarium consists of two locations. That's the Great Plains Zoo and the Butterfly House and Aquarium. Sydney Hoyer gives us an update on the merger and what we can expect to see with those changes.
Construction is in full swing as the Great Plains Zoo prepares for the Butterfly House and Aquarium to move on site.
We officially merged on January 1st of 2023, and so we've been working together over the last several years to merge our two teams together, and then really just trying to realize this big, bold vision to bring the Butterfly House to the zoo campus and then the future aquarium.
The first major step to bring the Sioux Falls Zoo and Aquarium to life is the construction of a butterfly garden.
This is really just taking what was so beloved at the Butterfly House and bringing it forward and even elevating it. So we're really excited. It's going to be a gorgeous glass structure.
Between 800 and 1,000 butterflies will live inside the structure when it is complete. The opening is projected to happen in early 2027. As construction continues outside, that means a slight detour for visitors.
We do have a little trail you have to walk on, so we like to think of it as an adventure. It's accessible. People can still get through to the cats. If they choose to go the other direction and walk around to the south and go see the monkeys first and those animals, then that's another option.
Because the butterfly garden is right next to the zoo's entrance, it has sparked interest for visitors.
This summer and this spring, as people are coming to the zoo more and more, I think that excitement's only going to build because they're going to be able to see that progress every day, especially as the season goes on and on.
Another big question for visitors is when they'll be able to connect with some sea life.
We've heard over and over again that they can't wait for the big aquarium. They can't wait to have more to do in the winter in one place where they can have that warm indoor space.
Construction on the aquarium is still pending as the zoo waits for money to come in.
What we are working on right now is fundraising for the future aquarium, and as soon as we're able to secure all the funds needed, we are excited to start that construction phase next.
Guests can look forward to hundreds of thousands of gallons of water with a wide variety of creatures.
We're going to have a very large shark tank that's going to be themed after Indo-Pacific, and so that's about a 250,000 gallon tank with a nice tunnel experience.
Not only will new animals be joining the zoo family, but some familiar web-footed friends will be moving inside.
People are going to be very excited to learn that the penguins are moving inside the future aquarium, so we're going to be modernizing that penguin habitat and really just making it a very enriching home for those Humboldt penguins.
For now, guests can visit sea creatures at the Butterfly House and Aquarium.
While we're still a little farther down the road for that, we are really blessed to have a great saltwater aquarium over at the Butterfly House that people can enjoy in the meantime.
As far as what will happen to the existing Butterfly House, that will be up to the new owners.
We will be using that facility for several years for our operations. However, afterwards, it would revert to the city of Sioux Falls as ownership.
In the coming years, as the Sioux Falls Zoo and Aquarium comes together, staff hope that the excitement continues to grow.
And that was Sydney Hoyer reporting. According to the zoo's website, the aquarium could open in late 2028 based on fundraising projections. We still have more stories for Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. Up next, the month-long celebration of Black culture, history, and life turns 100 years old in 2026. Anya Joseph shares what reaching the 100-year mark means to the community.
A century ago, historian, author, and journalist Dr. Carter G. Woodson launched what was then called Negro History Week. President Gerald Ford officially recognized and extended Black History Week to Black History Month on February 10, 1976. He called upon the public to, quote, seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history.
To have reached 100 years of us teaching our history, of us learning our history, and of us sticking with 1 month to make sure that everybody in America reminds that, hey, the Black American experience is still here, I think is a monumentous achievement.
The board members at the South Dakota African American History Museum make sure to share the local ties the state has to Black history.
We can talk about how Ella Fitzgerald was here. We can talk about Louis Armstrong, who traveled through here just to get to a gig. We have history, and it matters. and it's our job to safeguard it, to teach that.
Some of our pioneers like Porter Williams, who is the founder of the South Dakota African American History Museum, Bud Williams, who is the first and only black mayor in the state of South Dakota, individuals like Julian Baudouin, who's running for state senate here for South Dakota. This is legacy building in real time.
Porter Williams has an exhibit at the South Dakota Art Museum at South Dakota State called Porter Williams: Evolution of Black America.
Porter is a very interesting figure. I think he's somebody that was very thought-provoking, someone that was a leader, someone that was a doer. I think Porter did a great job of highlighting history that was always right here in South Dakota.
In the last year, the Trump administration moved forward with executive orders targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, and has also dismantled Black history at national parks, including removing an exhibit on slavery in Philadelphia. Black history advocates see these acts as unsettling.
Right now we see these policies that are being put forth to encourage people to forget our history. And if we step into the courage to speak out against that effort, I think that we can really unite ourselves together as communities.
We've accomplished so much. I am of a family that has accomplished so much. So to sit here and tell me that my history isn't real, to tell me that Black people haven't assisted in building this country, if not helped building this country, it's almost a disrespect.
On the 100th anniversary, the celebration is urged to not be taken for granted, but to acknowledge the path ahead.
It is an intentional effort to celebrate the accomplishments of what Black folks have done for this country and for each other. But it's a strong reminder that we still have a long way to go because there's so much more potential in the Black community.
And that was Anya Joseph reporting. The South Dakota African American History Museum is located in the Washington Pavilion. And still to come on Eye on KELOLAND Rewind, we head to Marlin's Family Restaurant to see the legacy it's built over the last 40 years. Stay with us. We'll have more on this story when we come back after the break. You're watching Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. Welcome back to Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. A Sioux Falls restaurant is celebrating a milestone of serving home-style meals to hungry customers. This year marks 40 years since Marlin's Family Restaurant first opened its doors on the north side of the city. And as Perry Groten reports, Marlin's recipe for success includes a multi-generational family commitment to customer service.
Dave Belkey of Sioux Falls has been a fixture at the breakfast counter in Marlin's Family Restaurant.
No, I'm retired, so I used to come here when I worked and just kept up the habit. I like it. It's a good place to come for breakfast.
Marlin's has been building a regular customer base for 40 years.
You see a lot of customers get old and age and maybe come in less frequently, but you see maybe their kids and other folks that they hung out with maybe that were younger kind of fill their shoes.
It all started back in 1986 when Carol Shenahaw and her late husband Marlin, the restaurant's namesake, opened their business in the old Minnehaha County Co-op Cafe on North Cliff.
We opened around noon, if I remember right, and we had soup and sandwich that first day. And the people just started coming in, the truckers, and it was very nice.
Marlin's took pride in serving generous portions to their customers.
Our pancakes covered the whole plate and potato hash browns. Marlin used to say we buy a lot of potatoes and we serve a lot of potatoes.
Carol Shenahaw recalls the restaurant making just $54 in sales that first day.
We started on a shoestring. We didn't have hardly any money, but we had 6 kids that could work. So we put them to work.
That included son Dustin Shenahaw.
I think I started here when I was 12 years old washing dishes, and and really haven't left. So.
Now Dustin has taken over ownership of the restaurant from his mother.
It was interesting to see it all come together as a teenager and watching my mom and dad put so much hard work into it.
The sign out front has changed through the years.
It's been Marlin's Country Grill, Marlin's Family Restaurant, Marlin's Grill, Marlin's Roadhouse Grill. About every decade we seem like we make a change somehow just to try to stay relevant with the times.
It was always important for the Shenahas to serve customers on the city's north side.
I guess this was kind of the area we wanted. We wanted to get here with the working class. That's kind of what we felt comfortable with.
Customers don't just get their fill of coffee and food at the Marlins on North Cliff Avenue. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Through the decades, Marlins has expanded to 4 other locations across the state, employing as many as 350 people.
They all have kind of the similar theme, a traveler, either located by an interstate or close to an interstate, and just same kind of principles with good service and home-cooked food.
The Shenahas expect Marlins to thrive in the years ahead, relying upon its key ingredient of being a family-run business.
We didn't know it at the time, but we were certainly blessed as a family to be able to do that together.
While so many other restaurants have come and gone over the past 40 years, Marlin's remains a constant in the local food service industry, a reflection of its deep ties to the community and its customers.
I can see why it's been in business that long. It's a good place to go.
It's still just a north end, just a good old family restaurant on the north end where usually we know you by name.
A story to make you smile and maybe a little hungry. And that was Perry Groten reporting. And he has more information for us. The Shenahas ran a small restaurant in Lake Andes before moving to Sioux Falls and opening Marlin's. And they plan to host a 40-year anniversary event just later within the year, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But still to come on Eye on KELOLAND Rewind, a journey over football. We hear Todd Tryon's story and see how he continues to help the game grow. We'll have more on this story when we come back after the break. You're watching Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. Todd Tryon's rise to prominence in the world of indoor football has been a decades-long journey. The Sioux Falls resident got his start as a player, then coach, owner, and now commissioner of the Indoor Football League. Travis Fossing tells us how Tryon landed in Sioux Falls and how he hasn't always been the most popular guy in the room and what he's doing now to help grow the game.
It's the start of a new day for Todd Tryon at We Build Champions, a performance clinic in Sioux Falls.
We are helping males, females, ideally live their best day, whether it's through hormone replacement, peptide replacement.
That's not where his responsibilities end.
My day job is the Indoor Football League.
Tryon is the current commissioner of the IFL, but that's far from where he started.
Moved to Sioux Falls and I saw a advertisement that they're starting an indoor team. I just finished playing college football. I tried out for the team and made the team and ended up playing for 5 years for the Sioux Falls Storm.
Tryon retired in 2005 after starting a family and business, but didn't quit football. He became a coach for the Storm and eventually bought the team.
4 years later, which is 2009, I had the opportunity to buy the team and bought the team and used it as a marketing and entertainment arm for my businesses and ran that for 10 years.
In 2019, Tryon sold the Storm and was named IFL commissioner.
The goal is just to kind of help coach and mentor these other owners as they come in. It is a total different style of business than what most people are accustomed to, and that's really the trick in this industry is, you have to do a good job of going out and getting the consumer and bringing them in and show them a great time if you expect them to return.
The number of IFL teams has increased from 8 to 14 since Tryon took over, with a goal of 24 teams. And he's not a fan of the fact Sioux Falls no longer is in the mix.
I would say just the different types of markets you're dealing with, the different sizes of markets, the different sizes of arenas, the different philosophies when it comes to management with whether it's the team or the arena. There's no market that's the same.
The Storm entered dormancy in October 2024 after losing their lease at the Premier Center. Tryon believes there's a path back, but it's going to take a reasonable agreement and better partnership between the Storm and arena management. New this season, the IFL has 2 broadcast partners, showing 119 games. FanDuel Sports Network will offer 60 games, and then there's Yahoo Sports.
59 of our games is with Yahoo Sports, and really excited about that partnership. They're 2 total different demographics that we're bringing to the table, and Yahoo Sports just launched their FAST channel, and we're kind of the first big property, and so they're going to do a really good job of marketing us, trying to bring eyeballs to our game, and really that's the goal is viewership.
For us, it's a very exciting time. It's a very on the edge of greatness time, and Todd is responsible for getting us to this point.
Kathy Trinkler is the longest tenured owner in the IFL, purchasing the Green Bay Blizzard in 2013. And she didn't exactly hit it off with Tryon.
Everyone in the league was a little afraid of Todd at the time. He just seemed very standoffish as an owner, and I just went up to him at one of our owners' meetings and said, "I'm not afraid of you. So let's make this a friendship." And ever since then, it's just been a great relationship that we've had.
Trinkler believes 24 teams is where the IFL should be, but it needs to be a slow growth.
We need to make sure we have the right ownership groups, the right markets, and perfect those markets before we jump too fast and grow too fast. Unfortunately, with the indoor game, there are too many leagues that come in thinking that they're going to set the world on fire. They don't have all of their operations in place. They don't have the bandwidth to survive. And the IFL has been different in that perspective. And we owe a lot of that to Todd.
Tryon says it's those daily challenges that keep him coming back.
Not many people are calling to say, "Hey, how you doing? You're doing a great job." Usually when your phone rings, it's a challenge and they need a solution.
And he believes the IFL's just getting started.
I think the sky's the limit right now. And, we have not even scratched the surface on where we can get to.
Wow. And that was Travis Fossing reporting. The IFL kicks off the new season on March 14th. The Indoor Football League will also be adding the IFL Cup, which is a week-long national showcase inside American Dream. That's a retail and entertainment complex in New Jersey. It's kind of similar to the Mall of America. 4 teams will play twice in 7 days in late May for a shot at the in-season championship. Really interesting stuff here in KELOLAND. Well, still to come, a longtime distillery in northeastern South Dakota prepares for a big change. We're going to hear about its decade-old history next when we return for Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. Stay with us. And welcome back to Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. Just past the little town of Brant, there's a distillery that's been making spirits for about a decade now. And soon, people in Sioux Falls will have a place to try out its bourbon at a new tasting room. Lauren Solik brings us the history of Black Fork Farms.
Tucked away on a small farm in remote Dual County, there sits a distillery with over 600 barrels of bourbon and whiskey.
We feel we've got the second best spirit in the world, only second to the Holy Spirit.
Black Fork Farms started about 10 years ago after Gordon Oman had the idea to change up what his family farm was offering. Neil Rood and his wife Paulette have been managing it ever since.
We started raising the grains that we were wanting. We didn't have a distillery, so we had to find somebody to distill it for us. So we hooked up with a distillery in New Richmond, Wisconsin, called the 45th Parallel, and they contract distilled for us for, 7 or 8 years.
In the meantime, they built their own distillery on this land, with production starting up in May of 2022. Now every spirit, from bourbon and whiskey to vodka and gin, is made here from grain to glass.
So all the grains that we grow ourselves that go into production are going to be number 2 yellow corn, Indian corn or flint corn, which is a very unique grain to grow. Some days you really don't like your life when you're doing it. It's just kind of a pain to grow, but it is fun and unique. We grow an older German rye variety, so we grow our own rye. Wheat, oats.
Goblin says the only grain Black Fork Farms outsources is their malt barley. The milling and mashing, fermenting and distilling then all happens here in this room.
Put it in barrels and then it sits on the shelf for the long aging process. So.
With bourbon, it's got to be in a barrel for 2 years minimum just to be called bourbon. We exceed that standard. We go to 5.
Once the spirits are done aging, they get bottled, closed with branded corks, and distributed all across the state.
From Custer to Spearfish, from Spearfish to Aberdeen, from Aberdeen back to Pierre, from Pierre back to here, and from here back to Sioux Falls, all the way down I-90. About 110 customers right now.
And though they do have a tasting room here on the farm and in Deadwood, they are looking forward to opening one soon at the Sharapa Place development in Sioux Falls.
That's in conjunction with HK Kitchens and Nunzio's Pizzas and of course the Black Fork Tasting Facility. We're really excited. We've been down there and kind of rubbed shoulders with them, and they've been up here. We've told them our story and shared our path, and we're just excited to be a part of their path.
Just through working with independent bottling companies, more or less, what I found is we're the second most remote distillery in the U.S. that they are aware of, at least the craft distillery side of it. So it's kind of unique, and just getting more into that Sioux Falls area is going to be really fun. It's going to be another challenge that I think is really exciting, for all of us here.
And that was Lauren Solik reporting. The Black Fork Farms Tasting Room in Sioux Falls is set to open at 6 o'clock at night this Thursday of this week. And that's all the time that we have today for Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. It really goes by so fast. Thank you all for watching. And remember, you can find all of our Eye on KELOLAND stories online at keloland.com. So until next time, have a great day, everyone.